and I just put everybody on notice that the Mutant is coming for the 2025 Mr. Olympia title.
What's up guys, and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So, one of the most prestigious shows of the year, the New York Pro, that is now done and dusted. And I must say the men's open division at the New York Pro this year, that wasn't very exciting, especially in comparison to the Pittsburgh Pro, which happened 1 week back. And in a sense, that all of us already knew, leading into the show, that nobody in this lineup, they have the goods to challenge a guy like the Mutant. And Nick Valker is now 3 times New York Pro champion as we speak. So it was probably the easiest task for the judges to pick the winner tonight. And there is a lot that can be said about this version of the Mutant. One thing that is going to be talked about the most, over and over again, that is his back double biceps, which is probably the best in the entire Pro League right now. Some say that is even better than the reigning Arnold champion, Derek Lunsford. And Nick learned from the feedback given to him by the judges at the Pittsburgh Pro, because at no point during the prejudging or the finals, we saw him losing any control over his midsection. He kept his waistline super tight and in check at all times. So from the start to the end, Nick was very dominating. And the fact is, it was predicted. So the Mutant is now qualified for the Olympia. And he's finally going back to the biggest bodybuilding stage in the world after a gap of 2 years. And yes, I know, he was qualified for the Olympia for both the years that he missed. But this time he's gonna make sure that he shows up 100% and at his all-time best. And I am very certain that he's gonna be in the mix for that Olympia title fight this year in October. So was it anywhere close between Nick Valker and William Bonak, who placed second behind him? Well, both these guys, they do not have the most tapered down waistline in those front shots. And both these guys simply do not fall in that aesthetic bodybuilders category. And William Bonak just do not have that kind of muscle mass and the muscularity to challenge a freak like the Mutant. But that being said, I must say the way Bonak has been performing, especially this year, at the tail end of his career, that is so commendable. And he should be so proud of himself. How he's able to jump from one show to the next one. And the man keeps nailing his conditioning. And keep in mind, this isn't a prime William Bonak. His waistline, that looks way different compared to how it was, let's say 5 or 6 years back. The pop in his upper body, that isn't the same anymore. The shoulders, they aren't so round as they were back in 2017. And yet this guy keeps on beating all these young guys. So a top 3 finish for Michael Krizo, who fought his way into this spot with Regan Grimes. As my initial impression for Regan was that he's gonna be either second or third when he first came out. Now people are giving Krizo a very hard time on his inability to pose properly, especially in those back shots. And all I have got to say is this, just give him some more time. This is his second only show after that shoulder surgery, and you have got to appreciate the level of conditioning that Krizo is bringing. He was in a top-notch conditioning, both at the Pittsburgh Pro and here at the New York Pro. And I think he will be extremely happy with this outcome, as he was able to beat Regan Grimes and Sazan Hiati. And both of them, they are fierce competitors. So let's wait and see which show he goes for next. Is he gonna do Cali Pro? Or will he go for the Legion Sports? Or maybe some other show in the month of June? So Regan Grimes came in fourth. And what can I say? Year after year, he gets that same feedback. He still doesn't have enough muscle, enough size to challenge some of those guys who are placing top 6 in the world. It was undoubtedly the best Regan we have ever seen. Specifically the way he showed up for the prejudging when he first came out. He was looking so impressive. But as the prejudging went on, he kind of faded. And his look started to go downhill. He kind of became flat and soft. But even if he would have stayed the same throughout the time, I really doubt that he could have beaten William Bonak, let alone Nick Valker. The fact is, that is a very big frame that Regan Grimes has, and he's missing the density and the muscularity, and that too in several areas. And if he wants to crack top 6 at the Olympia, and that too this year, which was his goal, first of all, he needs bigger arms. He needs more density and more fullness in his chest, because when he opens up in that front double biceps, it kind of seems like that his chest, that sort of flattens out. Plus, he also needs more outer quad sweep and more density and more muscle overall to have a better X frame to create an amazing V-taper, which by the way is something that he already has, but he has to pronounce that even more if he wants to be a top 6 Olympia competitor. Now, the good thing about Regan, the back shots, they were superb. One of the best back double biceps out there, totally spectacular. And maybe we should give Regan a benefit of the doubt, because the New York Pro here, that was his first show with Stefan as his coach, and they did a pretty good job. This was easily one of the best condition of Regan ever. Next up is Cali Pro, which is scheduled exactly 1 week from today. Now, it is very logical to think that all these guys, like Kross, Sazan, and Regan, they're gonna go for that show. Now, credit should be given. Weird still, Regan had the second best hamstrings in this lineup. The fact is, we do not see that kind of detail every day. So Sazan Hiati came in 5th, which must be a bit disappointing, but we all kind of saw what happened here. He tried to come in a little fuller, especially looking at the competition, to make up for the lack of size and the thickness. And that came at the expense of a bit of conditioning, and that just did not play in his favor. Plus, he was up against some guys whom he has never beaten before. And the lineup here, that was simply too deep. Now, I'm not implying that Sazan came in off here. The fact is the lineup here and the show, that was too difficult. But you bet, he came into this show with bigger expectations than 5th place. Next up, we have the results of the Classic Physique division here at the New York Pro. And it was the same scenario as we saw at the Pittsburgh Pro. The same two guys battling it out for the title. And it was a repeat here once again of the same outcome that we saw at the Pittsburgh Pro. Terrence Ruffin wins the 10th pro show of his career. And that itself, that is a record. And he fends off a fierce competitor in the form of Josema Beast, who came in a lot better than what we saw at the Pittsburgh Pro. One of the most conditioned guy out there. Now, I know this is gonna sound a bit harsh, but this simply means that there is no way Jose Manuel will ever be able to beat Terrence Ruffin if they're both at their 100%. Because I do not believe that Josema Beast can get any better than this. He is very limited with the way his quads are looking right now from the front. And even before they hit any shot, a guy like Terrence, he has the edge of a better looking X-frame and a much more pronounced V-taper. And that is all attributed to his humongous quads. Now, Terrence also made some posing adjustments from the Pittsburgh Pro to the New York Pro. And also, I got a feeling that he came in a bit bigger or a bit more fuller here at the New York Pro compared to what we saw at the Pittsburgh Pro. And the way he was hitting his side chest, and the audience in general, they all liked his New York Pro look a lot better. So that is 2 for 2 in 2 weeks for Terrence. So the bigger question right now is that whether Terrence is gonna continue to prep for another 5 weeks and go for the biggest check in the Classic Physique division, and that is gonna be at Dubai Pro this year, or will he just focus on that Mr. Olympia title? Well, kind of hard luck for Josema Beast, but we all know he's gonna win whatever show he enters next, which by the way can be Cali Pro or the Legion Sports. So Francisco Barios just shocked the entire bodybuilding world by beating one of the veterans of the 212, a guy who has continuously been placing top 3 in the world in the 212 Olympia, and that is Angel Calderon. And I am kind of surprised because Angel was so on last night. He also had more density, more thickness, more muscularity than every other guy on the stage, and he was in a top-notch conditioning as well. And the only downside of his physique, that was not having a pretty shape or having that aesthetic kind of look. But Francisco, on the other hand, he has better lines, better shape, better flow, better V-taper, and the level of detail and the conditioning that he brought, that was equally impressive, if not more. So there is a reason we consider Patrick Tuor as one of the best coaches in the world right now. And Francisco's victory here means that Patrick, he's gonna have not 1, not 2, but 3 athletes in that Olympia top 5 this year. And I am talking about Keon Pearson, Ned Kaya, and Francisco. So Angel Calderon, he's gonna have to qualify for the Olympia in another show. So Brandon Hendrickson, the 3 times men's physique Olympia champion, he came back after a tough showing at the Pittsburgh Pro to this year's New York Pro. Although the lineup here, that did not have those top guys like Aaron Banks and Ali Bilal, but this was still a very competitive show. So Brandon wins the New York Pro, and he's gonna carry that momentum to this year's Miss Olympia, hoping to win his 4th title come Olympia in October. So Andra Deo, he made a solid comeback after a gap of 2 years away from the stage, and he came in third in a very stacked lineup. So we will see what Joey goes for next, but chances are we are most probably gonna see him on the Olympia stage this year. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.